Another important feature that children learn in this stage is that of the concept of reversibility. You can revert back. You can bring back to the same old form, shape, size, whatever. Reversibility, again, is an important concept. Previously, children couldn't do that. But in this stage, somewhere between 7 to 11 years, this develops among children. And reversibility simply is I can change the shape of something and I can bring it back to the old shape. So let's assume that you're working with clay. And here is the example. Working with clay, there's a ball of clay, and that ball of clay is the mass. It has certain weight, it has a certain size, it appears to be one whole thing. But in the second figure, you can see that that ball of clay can be shaped into a clay bowl. And that's what the mason is doing. He's making the ball into a clay bowl. The shape has changed, maybe the size has changed, but has the quantity really changed? To a child, probably yes, because the clay bowl is bigger probably, it's hollow, but the child doesn't understand that. So for the child, the clay bowl is bigger, and so the bowl must be more than the ball of clay. Where did that extra material come from? The child begins to think. So when you take the bowl again and make it back into a ball of clay and show it to the child, now you see the original ball of clay and this ball of clay after it was shaped into a clay bowl, same. The child then begins to see and understand reversibility. Just because that whole entire ball of clay was shaped into a bowl which was hollow and appeared to be bigger does not mean that more material came from somewhere into the clay bowl. No additional material came from anywhere to form the clay bowl. The clay bowl was formed from that original ball of clay. You make it back into the ball of clay, show it to the child, and then let the child do it. Play-Doh is a good thing to use. Plasticine is a good thing to use. When you give these materials to children and let them make little balls and make them into different shapes and see, is it the same amount or not? And when children handling these things themselves see that the amount doesn't change even though the shape may change. I could take the ball of clay and roll it into a long roll. It will appear to be bigger, but is it extra material? When children practice this hands-on themselves, the concept of reversibility begins to make sense. And again, reversibility, just like conservation, is a step ahead in thinking capacities. And in this particular stage of Piaget's cognitive development, the child begins to think. And because he's in the thinking mode, he is able to conserve and he's able to reverse. Both important concepts that will help him in later life. But for right now, simply understanding that these two critical concepts are developing and help those concepts to develop appropriately in the children through hands-on practice and activities will be beneficial for the child.